Today, we're going to dig into a company that's trying to do something pretty radical: change the future of public safety. This is a story all about a huge strategic pivot, going from just one innovative gadget to building out an entire tech ecosystem, all aimed at making difficult situations safer for everybody. Let's see how they're pulling it off. So the company we're talking about is Wrap Technologies, and their mission really is to give public safety organizations a whole suite of integrated non-lethal solutions. We're talking about tools and training that are designed from the ground up to lower the risk and de-escalate really volatile situations before they become tragic. Okay, so at the very heart of their story is this device right here, the BolaWrap. The easiest way to think about it is like a remote-controlled restraint. It's not a taser, it doesn't rely on pain. Instead, it fires this Kevlar tether from a distance that, you guessed it, wraps around a person's arms or legs, stopping them from moving. It's a totally different approach. Now, what's really fascinating here is the specific problem they're trying to solve. For law enforcement, there's often this big gap, right? You have verbal commands on one side, and then tools that cause pain, like tasers or pepper spray, on the other. The BolaWrap was literally engineered to fit right in the middle of that gap, giving officers another option to get control of a situation before things escalate. But this explainer isn't just about one cool device. It's actually about a huge shift in strategy. You see, Wrap started out as a company that just sold a single product. But over the last few years, they have been working to transform themselves into something much, much bigger: a provider of complete, integrated solutions. And you don't have to take my word for it. Management said it themselves, plain as day. Their focus went from just selling hardware to delivering one single critical outcome: safety. I mean, this quote really captures their entire new mission. So, what does that look like in the real world? So, how exactly do you go from being a device company to a solutions company? Well, you have to build an entire system. And that's exactly what Wrap's been doing, aggressively expanding their product lineup way beyond just the BolaWrap. And here's what that system looks like now. You've still got the BolaWrap, that's the foundation, but now they also have virtual reality training to simulate these high-stress situations, online training to keep skills sharp, and even a full-on body camera and evidence platform. They're even taking their main tether technology and applying it to a whole new problem: rogue drones. It's not just a product anymore, it's a whole ecosystem. And look, this whole transformation, it didn't just happen overnight. This has been a very deliberate, multi-year journey. You can see how they've methodically added each piece through acquisitions and new launches to build out this bigger, broader public safety platform. All right, a new strategy and a bigger product list sounds great on paper, but is it actually working? Let's check the scorecard. Let's look at the numbers and see if they're really building any momentum here. Whoa, okay, so the latest quarter shows some serious acceleration. A 62% jump in gross revenue in the last quarter of 2025 compared to the same time last year. That is a really powerful signal that this new strategy might just be starting to pay off. And just to put that into perspective, you can see the jump right here. They went from $0.9 million to $1.4 million in revenue in a single quarter, year over year. It's a really clear picture of that momentum we were just talking about. Okay, now what's really interesting when you zoom out and look at the whole year is this. Yeah, overall revenue is up 15%, which is good. But look at that tech services line. It's up 85%. That's their new subscription and training business really starting to take off. And get this, at the same time, they cut their operating expenses by 10%. Growing revenue while cutting costs, that's the combo every investor dreams of. And it's not just about dollars and cents. This number right here shows real-world adoption. Over 10,000 of these devices are now out in the field with police departments across the country. That tells you this is moving beyond being just a niche product and becoming a more established tool. But of course, no growth story is a straight line up. For the full picture, we absolutely have to talk about the other side of the coin, the pretty significant risks involved here. And just so we're crystal clear, these aren't just my opinions. The company itself lays out all of these risks in great detail in its official filings for investors. So let's break down some of the big ones. So first, you've got the basic business risks. The company has a history of losing money. They're not profitable yet. And even with a new strategy, they still really depend on BolaWrap sales. Plus, they're going up against some huge competitors with way deeper pockets. Selling to the government is notoriously slow and complicated, And because their tools are used in dangerous situations, there's always the risk of a lawsuit. And then you have all the regulatory and financial stuff. They might need to raise more cash down the line, which could affect the stock. Believe it or not, the BolaWrap is technically classified as a firearm by the ATF, which adds all sorts of hurdles. They also rely on just a few key suppliers, and they have to deal with constantly changing laws around drones, data privacy, and intellectual property. The point is, the road ahead is anything but a sure thing. So, with that full picture, the opportunity on one hand and the big risks on the other, what's the plan? Where do they go from here? Let's take a look at the company's official priorities for the near future. Their game plan for 2026 is actually pretty clear. Number 1, get more agencies to buy into the whole system, not just the device. 2, start breaking into federal and defense contracts. 3, keep pushing their anti-drone tech forward. And finally, and this is a big one, keep growing that stable, recurring revenue from subscriptions and expand their sales overseas. It's ambitious, for sure, but it's focused. Which, of course, brings us to the big final question. Wrap has definitely evolved from a one-product company into something much more, a company with this broad, ambitious vision for a whole new category of public safety tech. They've got some real momentum, but they're also facing some serious headwinds. So can this new strategy, this growing toolkit, actually transform the future of policing? Well, that's the big question, isn't it?